Do I think digital sucks? I think there are things about digital that suck, yes. But fortunately, everybody here is interested in changing that. And I think that we've got the right people in the room at the conference and the right kind of conversation. There's like a lot of talk about the pessimistic side as well as the optimistic side of digital looking forward at the moment. So we get a bit of both.
Would you call yourself an optimist or a pessimist regarding digital?
I'm an optimist.
Why are you an optimist?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, because humans have survived this long, and even when things are maybe not going so well, and there's crazy people in charge of the United States of America, for example, people are still having conferences like this. They're still having conversations like this, and talking about choosing love over fear, and advocating for the user, and talking about what's best for people. People are talking about how to elevate design and digital and start addressing some of these problems ourselves. So I see a lot of the good side.
Okay, so you are a product designer. Can you tell us a bit about your work?
I'm a product designer. I'm also a UX designer. And mostly I do work that's digital, but beyond the screen. That's what Raft likes to focus on, is experiences beyond the screen. So we do some web design, some app design, but what we really like to look at is the holistic user experience and guide companies in figuring out how they want to shape that user experience.
Do you think that product designers are responsible for the current state of digital affairs?
Yeah, we have a hand in it. Yeah, a lot of people are working on digital clutter. A lot of times the constraints have to do with the companies we're working for, the clients that we're working for, existing systems that we feel like we have to design within. There's no easy answer for how to change direction. But I think that if we have conferences like this and we define our vision just like you would on any project, any design project, you design your goal, your vision first, and then figure out how to work towards it. Then we'll figure it out.
Your approach to product design is minimalism. So what's the reason for this?
I suppose the reason is it lies in my background because I studied industrial design, and the best designed products were minimalist design products, in my opinion. So that's what I was drawn to. And then when I shifted into user experience design, I was asking myself, how do you be a great UX designer? And I still look to my design heroes from product design for inspiration.
To give us a little bit more detail, what's the difference between the minimalist approach and user-centric design?
I don't think there's a difference. Yeah, I think that the minimalist approach, at least the one I describe in my talk, is about identifying what really matters to users, and that should be how user experience design works.
So many user experience designers simply are not minimalistic enough.
Or perhaps they're in the wrong job, or they're in a situation where they're given a really complex task. But I think you can still apply some minimalist thinking to your process. You can still figure out what would the minimum be, even if you can't design for that right away. And that's what I do. I mean, I'm in that situation all the time. I'm not designing beautiful, perfect, minimalist experiences for people all the time. But on every project, I always ask myself, what would be the minimum? And then I make sure that I'm conscientiously adding onto that experience. So everything extra is there for a reason. Like there's technological constraints, or the existing system I'm designing within has some constraints. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. We are now on day 2 of the next conference, and what are your key takeaways so far?
I think the biggest takeaway that I didn't expect was that a lot of these talks are looking at the two sides of double optimism, which the first keynote talk speaker spoke about, David Madden. And I found throughout the conference that all the other talks sort of fell into one side of this double-sided coin of optimism. And I think that's really healthy. Like, we should be critical of the system today, and we should also be looking forward at what we want it to look like in the future.
So how did you like the event so far?
It's fun. Yeah, I really like it. I love Hamburg. It reminds me of home. I'm from Seattle originally. It's also a seaside town. And so I like the vibe. I like the Reeperbahn festivals going on. It's really fun.
So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.